welcome back to our Skyget JEE channel. This is your Jason sir taking the 26th February second shift physics paper analysis. So students, this paper is also, we can consider the level to be from easy to moderate. So let us go through the journey of this paper. So what does the first question say? Which of the following graph represents the relation between velocity and displacement for a body performing SHM? So if you see, velocity and displacement are the terms they asked us to find out. This is a question which is repeated in one of the previous shifts of this JEE Mains as well. So if you write to, we have two equations. What is velocity with respect to time and velocity with respect to position? Velocity in terms of time we can write as, that is dv by dx by dt, that is a omega into sin omega t plus 5. This is in terms of time. But in case if you want to convert it in terms of position, so what is the formula is velocity is equal to omega into root over a square minus x square. So from this, what is the equation? Velocity and position both are involved in this equation. What is the equation of this one? So if you try to simplify it, so v square by omega square plus x square is equal to a square. So if you further simplify it, v square by a square omega square plus x square by a square is equal to 1. So if this is comparison, this is compared to our equation of x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1, this is an equation of ellipse. If these two terms are equal, then we can consider that is an equation of circle. But these two terms are not equal, this can be written in the form of a square and b square. So this is an equation of ellipse. So let us go ahead, students. First try to write the equation in terms of velocity and displacement, and we also have velocity and time equation, but here in the question he has asked us to find out velocity and displacement equation and rearrange in such a way that one of the curve equations are matched. So here it's matching ellipse. Then this is also a beautiful question, students. A particle is thrown in air following a trajectory. The moment you see alpha x minus beta x square, you should be able to relate to one of the particle executing motion. What is that motion? What is that motion of the particle executing this equation of trajectory? That is projectile motion, y is equal to ax minus bx square. So where alpha and beta are constant, x and y are horizontal line and vertical line respectively, okay, its angle of projection is. If you can relate, in one of our one-shot lectures itself, I taught you about what is equation of trajectory. If you are not clear with what is equation of trajectory, you can go to that motion in a plane concept and watch that video to get a clarity of what is equation of trajectory. So there I taught you y is equal to x tan theta minus x square by 2u square cos square theta. Y is equal to x square to u square x tan theta minus x square by 2u square cos square theta. So if you can relate, so how did it come? Just simple and quick way, I will just recap to it. So we know that y is equal to ut minus half at square, that is uyt minus g by 2 t square. So x is equal to ux into t, so t is equal to what? X by ux. So you substitute this in, eliminate time from this equation and write it in the form of y and x. So then I can write it, y is equal to uy can be written as u sin theta into t is x by u cos theta minus g by 2 into t square is what? X square by u square cos square theta. So this will be g here. So if you try to cancel this one, you will get x tan theta minus g by 2u square cos square theta into x square. This is the way you need to find out what is the equation of trajectory. Compare it you will be able to get what is angle of projection and maximum height as well. So if you see what is the angle of projection here, theta. So if you compare this equation with alpha x minus beta x square, alpha is equal to tan theta, beta is equal to g by 2 u square cos square theta, isn't it? So if you compare this equation, alpha is equal to tan theta, so what is alpha is equal to tan theta, then what is theta here? Tan inverse of alpha. So this is direct from the equation. So either second option here or first option should be our answer. So then try to relate this with beta is equal to what? Beta is equal to, from the same equation I am trying to write beta, beta is equal to g by, try to understand here students how to compare the equations and get the answer. Beta is equal to g by 2 u square cos square theta, and another thing we got is tan theta is equal to alpha, tan theta is equal to alpha, that means sin theta by cos theta is equal to alpha. So now you see here beta is equal to g by 2 u square cos square theta, maximum height is what formula? U square sin square theta, u square sin square theta by 2g is the maximum height. So from here can I write u square as g by 2 beta cos square theta, u square as g by 2 beta cos square theta. Can I substitute here? H is equal to u square, in the terms of u square we can write it as g by 2. I am trying to eliminate this whatever alpha, I want to write it in the form of alpha and beta, okay. So g by 2 beta cos square theta, I am eliminating remaining variables here. So 2 beta cos square theta, so then sin square theta, okay, careful you see here, sin square theta by 2g, got it. So you carefully see here students, something we have rearranged, sin square theta by cos square theta, can we write it as tan square theta? If it is tan square theta, tan theta is alpha, means tan square theta is alpha square. So g into, from here I am writing here g, h is equal to maximum height, g into tan square theta can be written as alpha square divided by 4 beta into g, g gets cancelled, so the answer will be alpha square by 4 beta. So if you can compare this equation with alpha x minus beta x square, so then what you can get is what is the theta, you can directly get this, so you can eliminate some options here, and you relate beta maximum height and transform it in such a way that theta is eliminated, u is eliminated, then you will get an equation in terms of alpha and beta, then you can write the equation in a very short period of time students. Just it is a mathematical simplification that you need to do. There is other way also you can do, maximum height, for finding out maximum height and angle, so this you can follow this procedure. So then let us see here what is the next question. So this question is also a quality question and it has been asked in some of the previous year examinations. What is the recoil speed of the atom? The hydrogen atom is free to move and its electron is in state n is equal to 5. Find recoil speed of atom when electron jumps from n is equal to 5 to 1 atom. So when electron jumps from 5th orbit to 1st orbit, so what will happen? It is coming from a higher energy to lower energy, so it will release an amount of energy or photons from the atom itself. So when the photons go with some energy, they go with some momentum as well, isn't it students? Photons, when they release some energy, they go with some momentum as well. So this you can compare similar to a gun bullet question. So when there is no external force on the system, gun and bullet, when the gun fires the bullet leaves the gun with some energy with it and the bullet will have some momentum with itself. So bullet has momentum with itself. To conserve the momentum, because there is no external force to the system here, to conserve the momentum here, what will happen is the bullet will have the same momentum, and oppositely gun will also have similar momentum going backward to make the net momentum to be 0, because the net external force is 0. So if you can understand that concept here, students, that gun bullet system, you might have practiced those problems. Similar to that, here electron, when it jumps from 5th orbit to 1st orbit, it loses energy. When it loses energy in the forms of photon, that photon will go with some momentum. Then what will happen is you have atom recoiling with a speed. So how can I relate that speed, students, here? So what I will do first, what is the difference in energy here? So if I difference in energy is 13.6 into 1 minus 1 by 5, that will be 24 into 13.6 by what, 13.6 by 1 minus 1 by 5 square, that is 25, 24 minus 24 by 25. This is that energy difference. So energy difference. So we know the energy difference. What can we write? How to find out the lambda of that atom is, velocity of that atom is, from de Broglie's wavelength we can write. So from de Broglie's wavelength, lambda is equal to what? H by P. So H by mass of the atom into velocity of that atom. So can I write it as velocity is equal to h by m lambda. So this is the velocity of the atom, where m is the mass of the atom. So then h is Planck's constant, lambda. So for lambda, what we can do is, we know for h also, E is equal to hc by lambda, energy is equal to hc by lambda. So h can be replaced by E lambda by c, So h I am replacing here with E lambda by c into m lambda. So lambda gets cancelled. You will get that E by mc will be the speed of the atom. E by mc is the speed of the atom. M is the mass of the atom. C is the velocity of light. E is that energy difference that has occurred. Then V is then we'll get the V as the speed of the atom. So this is as simple as that. So now I rearranged it. I used these equations. Energy is equal to h mu, that is hc by lambda. Then de Broglie's wavelength, lambda is equal to h by mv. So by substituting, rearranging these two equations, I was able to find out what is the velocity of the atom. So you can simplify these answers. So the difference in energy is 13.6 minus 0.4. So that is 13.6 minus 0.54, which is the fifth orbit energy. That's what I simplified as 24 into this one, 1 minus 1 by 25 I did. That is 24 by 25 times of that one, 13.6. This is 13 point. So this value by mc, that is a derived formula I have done. Mass of the atom is 1.6 into 10 power minus 27. Velocity of light is 3 into 10 power 8. If you substitute, you will be able to get the answer similar to 4.35 meter per second. So let us go to the next question. Just what is this concept here? Gun bullet system. The bullet goes out with some velocity and energy. Gun has to be recoiling. Here when energy is released in the form of photon, that atom recoils with what velocity? That E by mc. How to get this? Rearrange these two equations. E is equal to hc by lambda and lambda is equal to h by p, that is mass into velocity. You will be able to approach and arrive at this conclusion and answer. So let us see this next question, students. This is also a question from modern physics. How to solve this question and approach. This is also a question which has been repeated. Similar questions have been repeated in your previous year examinations. How to solve this, students? Initially, energy of incident photon was double of the work function of metal in a photoelectric effect. Energy of photon is double of the work function. So what I will do is, what is the main photoelectric effect equation, students? One equation, if you know, you will be able to solve any kind of problem based on this photoelectric effect, students. What is that main formula? That is h mu, whatever the energy you gave to the incident on the metal surface. This is the energy. That energy used to remove the electron from the surface, that is work function, plus remaining is converted into K max, or you can also written as EBS, E into stopping potential. So what is this h mu here, students? It is given double of work function, incident photon is double of work function. Can I write it as 2 phi is equal to phi plus K max? That means phi is equal to K max 1 I will write in the first case. Kinetic energy of the maximum kinetic energy of the electron that has come out from the metal surface is, can be written as phi from the given information there. So then what can you do? Finally energy of incident photon made 10 times of the work function. Energy of the incident photon is 10 times. So this h mu can be written as 10 h mu, then that means 10 phi we can write. 10 phi, because he has told 10 times of work function is equal to phi plus K max 2. That means K2 is equal to what? 9 phi. Your problem is solved, students. Here kinetic energy is known. What can we do? So half mv1 square, he is asking the ratio of maximum possible speed of photoelectrons in initial and final cases alpha by beta, then find the minimum value of alpha. So that means, so K1 by K2 we need to do half mv1 square by half mv2 square, that is maximum speed square, is equal to K1 by K2, that will be 5 by 9 phi. So 5 gets cancelled, half gets cancelled, mass gets cancelled, v1 by v2 whole square. So v1 by v2 whole square is equal to 1 by 9, that is equal to v1 implies v1 by v2 is equal to 1 by 3 will be your answer, students. This is as simple as that it gets. So simple, you need to apply these two equations. What is that main equation? H fly is equal to phi plus K max. So if you apply the two conditions that are given just with patience, so then automatically it will take you to the answer, students. So let us go and see the next questions. This is one of the quality questions which has been repeated number of times, similar models. You go and check your previous year JEE mains and NEET as well, and in this shifts examinations as well you have similar questions. So the answer will be 1 by 3. 1 by 3 means what? Here he is asking what is this is compared to alpha by beta, then alpha is what? 1 here, that is a minimum possible fraction written there. Alpha is 1, the ratio is 1 by 3. So then average life, students, this is also a question based on modern physics from the topic nuclei and radioactivity. In radioactivity you have studied, so he is asking what is the average life. Average life we know, students, that is 1 by lambda. Average life is 1 by lambda, but if it is half life is ln 2 by lambda. So for average life is, if average life is 1 by lambda, how to arrive at the conclusion of 1 by lambda? So we know activities or number of nuclei, the formula is A is equal to A naught e power minus lambda T1. So this A is given as at T1 this is A, okay. At T2 it is A by 5, can I write it as A by 5 is equal to A naught e power minus lambda T2. If you know how to write the activity formula or number of nucleus formula, your answer is absolutely in front of you. How it is in front of you? So just try to, I am trying to get 1 by lambda here. So try to, if you, this is in exponential power, so we need to remove it from exponential place. How to remove it from exponential place? So if I divide this ratio, that 5 will be equal to A naught gets cancelled, e power lambda, if I take constant, T2 when it goes upward it will be positive, T2 minus T1 will be the answer. So if you apply logarithm on both sides, then we will be able to get lambda in normal equation forms. So ln 5 to the base e is equal to lambda into T2 minus T1 ln e to the base e, that will be 1. So 1 by lambda, if I am trying to bring this left side, the answer will be T2 minus T1 by 5 ln 5 to the base e will be the answer. This is the way that you approach and arrive at a place that where is 1 by lambda. You can approach another way also, but try to find out what is 1 by lambda. So this is the answer, T2 minus T1 by ln 5. So this question, a kind of correction is there in this question. the typed correction. So what the question is saying is, there is a force, application of force on mass B, so then acceleration of mass A is A, this mass is A, so then at some instant, then what is the acceleration of B? That is the question, students, here. So if you try to simplify, try to draw the, whenever questions are asked on acceleration and forces, what you need to keep in your mind is try to approach it by using the free body diagram. So if a force is being applied on B particle, I am trying to draw the force equation. So F minus, why I am writing minus, when the spring expands from its natural position, if it is an ideal spring, it will have two forces, that is Kx and Kx, if x is an extension, Kx, both are trying to compress the spring to its natural position. So F is there, now the spring wants to go back to the natural position, that will be F minus Kx is equal to mass of B body into acceleration of B body. Both our masses are same, I am writing it as m, acceleration of B body. So similarly on A, if I draw the free body diagram, there will be only one force acting here, this one backwards, that will be Kx. So then Kx is equal to mass of A into acceleration of A, which is given in the question here. So these are two equations, just try to substitute in the first equation, that is F minus Kx can be written as ma, because the question it is given, the A is having an acceleration A, so F minus ma is equal to m into AB, right. Then AB is equal to what, F by m minus A, or otherwise we can write it as F minus ma by m. This is the answer, this should be the answer, students, this should be the answer, students. F by m minus A should be the acceleration of B here, students. So that should be the answer. Here the answer is typed wrong, but the acceleration of B should be F minus ma by m. So now here, students, what is the next question here, students? Time period of seconds pendulum is 1 second. We know what is the time period of seconds pendulum, that is for one oscillation of seconds pendulum it takes 2 seconds, for half oscillation it will take 1 second. The statement 1 itself is wrong. The time taken between two extreme position in seconds pendulum, this is half cycle, students, then that will be 1 second. Time period for a simple pendulum is, seconds pendulum is 2 seconds, and for half cycle it will be 1 second. So second statement, two extreme positions, what is the time taken from here to here, that is a half cycle, student, that will be 1 second. This is true, second statement is true, but time period is for a complete cycle it will be 2 seconds, but that first statement is false. That means statement 1 is false and statement 2 is correct. Statement 2 is correct, is the correct statement, student. So let us go to the next statement. So find dimensional formula of lambda if lambda is equal to c by v. So all this is question based on units and dimensions and using the dimensional formula. All these questions can be solved by not completely converting these terms into its dimensional formula and finding out the answer. How can we approach an easy way? This he is telling dimensional formula of lambda is c by v. He is asking dimensional formula of lambda, c by v, he told, c by v. So don't immediately try to convert what is the dimensions of C, what are the dimensions of potential, then find out the answer. Try to relate and bring it to our whatever the terms that we know easily. So C, you know that, students, Q is equal to CV is the formula. Any formula on C. So C can be written as Q by V, students. Substitute C as Q by V, then that will become Q by V square. So you see, students, V is potential which has an electric term in it, but try to relate with potential to our mechanical terms which are easy to remember. What is the formula, you know? Potential is equal to energy by Q, that means potential energy per unit charge is defined as potential. Can I write it as substitute potential with U by Q? Why am I substituting with U by Q? Because you know U is energy, potential energy, which has dimensions of energy, that is ml square t power minus 2. So Q by, I will try to read it, Q by V square can be written as u square by q square. So then the q square, if it goes to topmost point, that will become q cube. So q cube by u square is the answer. That's it. Why? Is the final, almost final step of the answer, because you know use units, you know q's units very easily. What is q? Q can be written as I is equal to q by t. Q can be written as it. It is means you can write it as ampere into time whole cube divided by u square is ml square t power minus 2 whole square. That will be energies dimensions. So what did I do? I tried to simplify into the terms that I know very fundamentally easily. So then a cube t cube divided by this one will become m square. When it goes to top, it will become m power minus 2. It will become l square l power 4. When it goes to the top, it will become l power minus 4. T power minus 4, when it goes to the top, it will become t power 4. So a t cube t power 4, that is a cube t power 7 m inverse 2 l inverse 4. So is our dimension. So if you can compare m inverse 2 l inverse 4 right here, m inverse 2 l inverse 4 t power 7 and t power 7 a cube should be our answer here. This is the answer, students. So let us go to the next question, students. For given RLC circuit, find out the peak current and resonance frequency. Peak current is nothing but that I naught, because whenever we write peak current, we can write it as I is equal to I naught into sine of, so omega t plus phi, so whatever the function we get for current. But what we need to find out, only we need to find out I naught, that is the maximum value. I naught we can get it by that V naught by Z. So V naught we can write it as the given potential difference here, that is 30 by Z we can write it as root over r square plus omega L minus 1 by omega c whole square. If you apply this formula, you will be able to get what is I naught here, students. So this will be the I naught here, students. So omega we know 1 by root LC formula, students, because this is 120 square plus omega L and omega c, 1 by omega c, if you find out, that will be 90 square, students. Then I naught value you can get, then omega value we know 1 by root LC, substitute 1 by root LC, you will get omega value that will be equal to 2 pi into f frequency. Omega is equal to 2 pi by t, that can also be written as 2 pi f. From there, if you know omega value, you will be able to find out frequency of the, students. So let us go to the next question, students. This is also a quality question. Cord is wrapped around a wheel in the vertical plane, so in this way, students, and it can rotate about horizontal axis. At the end of string, a back block of weight mg is attached. System is released from rest. Find the square of angular frequency when the block descends by height h, students. So here, students, you don't need to think too much here, students. Whatever the potential energy here for the block will be there, when it descends a height h, that potential energy will be converted into rotational kinetic energy, because it's purely in rotation, the rotational kinetic energy of the disc or whatever the ring which is present here, plus the kinetic energy of the block. If it is not there, what will you do? The potential energy of the block is converted into kinetic energy of the block while going downwards. If this is also there, what will you do? The potential energy descends by h, they told. So the descends means it loses a potential energy of mgh, that should be equal to kinetic energy of this block as well as rotational kinetic energy of this disc. Kinetic energy of this block can be written as half into mv square plus rotational kinetic energy of disc can be written as half into I into omega square, but it is without slipping. If it is happening, omega square v is equal to r omega, we can write omega square can be written as v square by r square. So half mv square plus half I v square by r square. So if you take half v square as common, you will get m plus I by r square. Simple, it is as simple as that, students, mgh. So V is equal to root over 2 GHM, m is a 2 mgh by m plus I by r square. Students, you don't need to think too much into it. Just conversion of potential energy into rotational kinetic energy plus translational kinetic energy of the block. Students, that is as simple as it gets. You don't need to solve any other equations if you go by energy method. Yes, you can solve it in also in another method by using force equations. Tension is a tension into R, that is torque is caused by the tension force here, is equal to I alpha. Alpha can be written as A by R, and then you can solve in that way as well using force equation. Mg minus T is equal to Ma. So by using these equations as well you can solve, but I approached it to energy just because my answer becomes as simple as that. From there, that process also you will get velocity. I wrote there. Students, if omega is asked, you don't need to write you don't need to convert it, students, into velocity. Velocity converted into omega, you will get the answer. I converted omega into velocity. Anyway, you can find the answer easily. So students, we have, if you want to attend all our lectures, so that is 90 lectures have been taken as a crash course, as a part of our crash course by expert and experienced faculties, considering all the previous year's examination, the level of questions that have come, and also the level of questions that have been appeared in all these exam. Students, so now if you attend those sessions, it will become very easy for you in a very quick period of time to revise and also to appear competent enough for attending the examination. Students, so I would ask you and request you to attend our app and avail this course for free. Students, okay, thank you. Now Vijay sir will continue the next part of the lecture. Students,
And hi students, and now we are going to start from the problem number 11. So here he has given a block. Here, to the surprise, he has given the charge on the block, where the charge on the block is 5 millicoulombs. So that's what we should note down here at first. So he is asking the time taken by the block to reach the bottom. So obviously when the block is in the sliding like this on an or from an inclined plane, obviously the time taken is equal to root over 2s by the acceleration, root over 2s by a. So here the first thing you have to consider is s and a values. So here majorly you have to find the values of a, acceleration. So to find acceleration, what are the quantities? Those are present here. So here the weight obviously will act downwards, mg. So the mass is given as 1 kg. As he has not mentioned the value of g, take it as a 9.8. okay. So this is mg cos theta, and this is mg sin theta, where theta is 30 degrees. So what are the things and what are the forces acting on this block other than the weight? Frictional force acting in this direction as the block is sliding down in this direction, and also there is a field intensity acting in the horizontal direction, but the block can only move actually and parallel to the plane. Either it can move upward or it can move downward. So here this is the direction of the field or the force acting because of the applied field intensity. So in the direction of the plane it would be like Fx, so here the angle would also be 30. So here on this block there are three forces acting parallel to the direction of the inclined plane. So one is mg cos theta acting downwards the plane, and the second one is the frictional force acting up the plane, and the third thing is the force caused by this field intensity also acting up the plane, which is the horizontal component. Let us take it as Fx. So the force, here we don't require the force, here we require acceleration. So acceleration part, if you take out the mass from this, the acceleration acting downwards is g cos theta. So all the remaining accelerations are acting upwards. So one acceleration that is caused by the frictional forces, as you know that F is equal to the frictional force, F is equal to mu into n. So mu into, here n is mg sin theta, so the frictional force F is equal to mu mg sin theta. As you want only the acceleration caused by the frictional force, it is mu g sin theta, mu g sin theta, plus there is one more acceleration caused by this field intensity. As you know, F is equal to QE. From this you can write MA is equal to QE, A is equal to QE by M. So this is the acceleration caused by the applied field intensity in the horizontal direction. But as the block can move only parallel to the inclined plane, so this force caused is act upwards, that is the horizontal component, that is Fx. So that you have to write it as Fx cos theta, that is QE by M cos theta. So this is the total acceleration it will become. So now let us substitute the values into this. So let us take the value of g, which is 9.8, cos theta, as theta is 30 degrees, cos 30 degrees is cos 30 degrees is root 3 by 2 minus mu. Mu is, he has given the value of mu as 0.2, so 0.2 into g, 9.8 into sin theta, sin 30 degrees, that is 1 by 2 plus QE by M into cos theta. Q, what is the value of Q? The charge is given as 5 millicoulombs, that is 5 into, so let us find the value of that one here, QE by M. So Q is 5 into 10 to the power of minus 3, and the applied field is 200, that is 2 into 10 square, and the mass he has given is 1 kg. So what happens now here? 5 into 2, 10, 10 into 10, 10 square, 10 square, so 10 into 10 square, that is 10 cube, so 10 cube into 10 to the power minus 3, everything get cancelled and they remain 1, but there is a cos, but there is the value of the angle, so the angular projection, that is it becomes by 2, so it is 1 by 2. So if you solve this value of the acceleration, you will get the value of acceleration, and if you substitute into this value of t is equal to root over 2 s by a, where you have to find the value of s, because it is sliding from here of the height of 1 meter. So here, as you want the length of this and the hypotenuse, so this is, he has given it as 1, he has given angle 30 degrees. To find the length of the hypotenuse, make sin 30 degrees. So sin 30 degrees is equal to 1 by 2, that is opposite side by the and hypotenuse, so it is 2. So it is 2. So here s is 2. And now you got the values of s and a from this equation, and you can directly substitute, where you will get it as almost equal to 1.13 seconds is the time taken for the block to slide down. Next, in the problem number 12, he has given a unknown tuning fork A when sounded with the tuning fork B of 340 hertz. That is, he has given two tuning forks, one is A, one is the tuning fork A, second one is the tuning fork B. Here the frequency of the tuning fork B is 340 hertz, gives 5 beats. So what is the number of beats? So the number of beats is always equal to the difference of frequencies, is always the difference of frequencies. So he says, if the unknown tuning fork A is sounded together with the tuning fork B, whose frequency is 340 hertz, it gives 5 beats. 5 beats. Okay, so here you have to understand is the number of beats is equal to the difference of frequencies. So here this frequency can be 335 or else 345. Okay, but you have to, but there has to be only one frequency now, so you have to find that one. When tuning fork A is filed means is brought together, then the beat frequency becomes 2 times. So when it is filed together, then the number of beats becomes only 2. So when they are filed together, the lower one frequency will increase. So obviously the frequency will increase and it becomes only 2. So then it becomes, that is, it has to be lower one, that is, it has to be 338 when it has to give 2 beats. So first it has to be 335, and when they are filed together, then the frequency is 338 of the tuning fork A. So what will be the frequency of tuning fork A, which is obviously 335 hertz. Next, in the problem number 13, what he has given? He has given a metallic wire. So on the metallic wire, the tension acting is T1 when the length is L1. The tension is T1 when the length is L1. Next, and under tension T2 has length L2. Under tension T2 it has a length of L2. Okay. So find the original length of the wire. So in what process you have to find this original length of the wire? So here you have to take the Young's modulus, because there is a relationship in between the tension and the length, and obviously the change in the length. So from this you can write tension by area is equal to Young's modulus Y into change in the length delta L by L. Okay. From this you can write, okay, T1 by A is equal to Y. So let it is the same, change in the length. So here the length is L1. He is asking what is the original length. So here the original length be L. Okay, so the change in length is L1 minus L by the original length L. So this is for the tension T1 and for length L1. Now let us find it for the tension T2. So T2 by A, and then when the tension is T2, the length is L2. So L2 minus L by L. If you actually divide these both equations, then what you will get? So T1 by T2 is equal to L1 minus L by L2 minus L. So he is asking the value of L. So bring all the values of L onto one side. So to make that happen, you should write, or you should make the cross multiplication where T1 into L2 minus T1L is equal to T2 into L1 minus T2L. So now what happens? Bring all the values of L onto one side. So it is like bring this T1 onto this side. So T1 minus T2 into L. Okay. Then bring this T1 L2 minus T2 L1. You have to find L. So L is equal to T1 L2 minus T2 L1 by T1 minus T2. So what is the option here? It is option T1 L2. So it is option 4. T1 L2 minus T2 L1 by T1 minus T2. So this is the problem number 13, students. Next you have the problem number 14. So this is the process what we have done just now. So now you have the problem number 14. In this problem number 14, he has given a plane moving in the horizontal plane with a velocity of 180 km per hour. So obviously convert into the meter per second. So 180 into 5 by 18. So 180 into 5 by 18 means obviously what you will get, it will get around 50 meter per second. 180 into 5 by 18. So obviously 18 tens, so it is 50 meter per second is the velocity of the plane. So its wingspan is 10 meters. So the length of the wings is 10 meters. If B is equal to 2.5 into 10 to the power of minus 4. B is equal to 2.5 into 10 to the power of minus 4 exists, at an angle of 60 degrees. So theta is 60 degrees. Find the EMF. So EMF when there is a length which has been traveling in the field intensity B at an angle theta, then obviously here the value of EMF, the value of induced EMF is equal to BL cross V, where it is B, here the angle should be taken in between L and B, so it is BLV sin theta. EMF is equal to BLV sin theta. So that is what we have taken, BLV sin theta, as theta is 60 degrees. You have taken the values of B that is given as 2.5 into 10 to the power of minus 4. It is written as 0.25 into 10 to the power of minus 3 to make the calculation easier. So L has given it as 10 meters. Okay, we have taken that. V 180 into 5 by 18. What we got it as 50 meter per second. Okay, and we have substituted the sin 60, that is root 3 by 2, where you get 108 millivolts. So it is option 1. So here he has given a problem number 15. Once look at here carefully. He has given the resistor of length L is stretched by 25%. Find the percentage change in the resistance. So here first you should know the relation in between the resistance and the length of the stretched wire. So obviously, as you know that R is equal to rho L by A. R is equal to rho L by A. But here it is stretched. Whenever he said stretched or the elongated, these type of words, here what you should remember is the volume of the wire will remain constant. When he used the words like when he has given in these problems like the resistor of length L is stretched or elongated, so when these sort of words are given, you have to remember that the volume of the wire will remain constant. You should always remember that the volume of the wire will always remain constant. So when the volume remains constant, here you know that the basic process to solve an equation is there should be only one unknown in the equation. That is what you have to find. If there are two unknowns, it is not possible to solve that equation. So what should we do now? As we know that R is equal to rho L by A. When you stretch the wire, the length, if the length increases, the area of cross section will decrease. Okay, so in this equation there are two unknowns, then it is not possible to find this equation or to solve this equation. Then what we should do, as we know when you stretch or and elongate the wire, the volume remains constant, convert in terms of volume. Okay, then to make that happen, you should make into L by L, into L by L. So rho L square by A into L V. So it comes in terms of volume. So here rho, here the resistivity is obviously constant, which depends on the material of the wire. And here V, volume, when you stretch or elongate, I have just said the volume of the wire will remain the same, but there will be change in the length and also there will be change in the area of cross section, but the total volume will remain same. That is, if you want an example, if you take a wire like this and if you stretch it, what happens? The length will obviously increase, but the area of cross section will decrease, would be very, very small. But what happens if you observe clearly, the total volume will remain same in both these cases. So that is the property what you are using and what you have to use in this sort of problems. Here the keyword is stretched. Okay. So then what happens? Here the length increases by 25%. So you have made the volume to be constant and rho L square by V. So here you have to consider L square, not simply L. It is 25%. First let us write the value of the resistance when they haven't stretched. So it is obviously RL by A. When they have stretched, its length increases, area of cross section decreases, its volume remains constant. So you have to write like this in terms of rho L square. So when you write in terms like that, then obviously what it becomes, here you don't require about these lower quantities as these are constants here. So keep it aside that. Okay, when you keep it aside, rho L square by V and rho L by A. So if the length L1 is simply L in the case 1, then in the length L2 here it becomes L plus 0.25, right? L plus 0.25 whole square. So L plus 0.25 whole square means you have to add the value of L and you have to make it or into subtract also. So these are the options what they have given. So it is 25%, that is L plus 0.25 times. So 0.25 times whole square is, it is about 0.5625. So when it is like 0.5625, so he is asking in terms of percentage. So that 0.5625 into 100. So it is obviously 56.25% is the value of change in the resistance. When it is 56.25%, here the closer one is okay. Has removed these, he had actually rounded off these two and decimal points, and he has written it as option 1, that is 56%. Okay. Next, so this is a theory question. So you have to understand and you should be very careful with these sort of theory questions, because he will then confuse you with these statements. First, in the statement 1, if a dipole is placed inside a sphere, if a dipole is placed inside a sphere, so obviously as you know that and dipole means two equal and opposite charges separated by fixed distance. So that sort of a dipole is placed inside a sphere. Then the value of flux through it, passing through it will be 0, but electric field is not 0 at any point of the surface of sphere having radius r. So he says that if a dipole is placed inside a sphere, then the electric flux through it may be 0, but the electric field is not 0 at any point of the surface of sphere, because as the dipole is inside the sphere, so the value of flux passing through it will be 0, but it will have a force, or it will cause a force, and definitely it will have a certain sort of field intensity on the surface of sphere. So the statement 1 is true. Next, let us consider statement 2. In a metallic conducting sphere, here the keyword is what you have to consider is conducting sphere. So metallic conducting sphere, when it is a conducting sphere, the charge may present and wherever inside the sphere, whenever it starts conducting, the charge will obviously comes on to the surface of the sphere.
Small technical glitch.
Okay. Okay, so we will take a 2 minutes break, and I will come to you after 2 minutes.
Hello.
So, and here, and sorry students, and so sorry for the time delay. So there is some small and technical and glitch. So because of that I have to take some 2 minutes break. So we shall again and continue with this problem number 16 from the JEE Main Shift-2. So here in the statement 2, here we have been talking about the statement 2. I have already spoke about the statement 1 where it is true. So we have to check out for the statement 2. So in this he has given a metallic conducting sphere. When he said a metallic conducting sphere, and wherever you place the charge, it will always come and spread onto the surface. So there won't be any charge inside a metallic conducting sphere if it is conducting. So he said it is conducting. So obviously the charge has to present on the surface, okay, of radius r, having charge q at a distance of small r which is less than the radius of the sphere. So you have to find the value at a point at a distance of small r that is inside the sphere. So the electric field is 0, but the electric flux passing through the sphere is not 0. It is completely wrong, because the value of the flux coming out of a surface will depends on the charge enclosed, that is the charge enclosed by epsilon naught. As you know from the Gauss law, where it says the value of flux passing through the given surface is equal to charge enclosed, that is charge inside the sphere, by the value of epsilon naught. So here he said the charge, when it is conducting, the charge will present only on the surface, not inside. So the value of flux passing through the sphere is 0, but here he said it is not 0. So the statement 2 is wrong and it is incorrect. Only the statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect. So that is option 3 here. So here we have the problem number 17. He is saying that if the internal energy of a gas is U is equal to 3 PV plus 4, where P and V are the pressure and volume respectively, so identify the type of gas. So what you should do to find the value or to find what type of gas, so whether it is monatomic or diatomic or even polyatomic, you have to find that here. So what he has given the value of the internal energy U is equal to 3 PV plus 4. So when he said U is equal to 3 PV plus 4, so convert in terms of U is equal to 3 RT plus 4. So to find whether what type of gas it is, whether it is mono or di or even triatomic gas, you have to differentiate with respect to T. So du by dt. So du by dt gives what it happens to the 4. Obviously the differentiation of 4 is 0, as you know that is the basic differentiation. 3 RT, it becomes 3 times of R, so it is polyatomic gas. So it is polyatomic gas. So it is option 3 here. So it is done in some under different process either, and you can follow that process what I have told you, which is a shortcut, or else you can follow this process with some definite values of formulas. Okay. Next, in the problem number 18, he had said the value of the angular magnification. Angular magnification of an object and image is same. So both the image and object are making the same angle with respect to a simple microscope, he had said. And in the reason we can place the object, sorry, okay, we can place the object much closer to the eye, less than 25 centimeters, to get an enlarged image. So what we should think of a simple microscope? In case of a simple microscope, what you have to do, you have to make the smaller objects look bigger. That means you always actually place the object closer to the eye, very closer to the eye than the 25 centimeters, but the image what you get of that very closer object is far from 25 centimeters. So this is the simple functioning of a simple microscope, or this is the key point actually involved in the functioning of simple microscope, where the object is placed very closer to the eye, but the image what you are able to see through the simple microscope or any sort of microscope is far from 25 centimeters. So you can actually see the object clearly, because as you know the least distance of the vision for the human eye is 25 centimeters. So obviously you have to see the image. So the image is far than 25 centimeters, but the object is always closer than 25 centimeters in case of simple microscope. So the angular magnification of object and image is same. Yeah, so here the object and image are at different distances and they are of the different sizes also. So obviously here the angles can be same. So it is possible in case of a simple microscope. Second one is the reason. We can place the object much closer than eye, less than 25 centimeters, to get an enlarged image. So it is also possible. Next, in the problem number 19, he has given the logic gates. So second one, this is so this is the NAND gate, and this is OR gate, and this is NOT gate. So NAND, it is, let us write it first. This is NAND, this is OR, this is NOT. When in case of NAND, here both the inputs are common, so that is it has the common input, so either it can be 0 or 1. So when it is NAND, so when you have to take it as AND and then you have to make it into inversion. So AND and make it inversion, that is NOT. So here these two are the common inputs to this logic gate, NAND gate. So obviously it has to be 0 0 or else it has to be 1 and 1. Okay. So what are the values of the output when the two inputs are zeros and the two inputs are 1 in case of AND, as AND is the multiplication, 0 into 0 is 0 and 1 into 1 is 1, and you have to actually invert these two values. So it becomes 1 and 0. So simply means if you give it 0, it comes out as 1, if you gives 1, it comes out as 0. So simply it is acting like a NOT gate. Next, you have to add with the OR gate. So OR means you have to add the inputs. So obviously A, and you have to add the B. So A plus B, and you have to invert it again. So A plus B whole bar, right? So when he said an A plus B whole bar, first let us write the truth table: 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. A plus B, 0 plus 0 0, 0 plus 1 1, 1 plus 0 1, 1 plus 1, it is also 1, it is also the logic high, and you have to invert this. So 1 0 0 0. So you have to check out whichever is possible. So here you have the value of the output high only when the two inputs are low, or otherwise all the values of the outputs are low and whatever may be the value of input. So the input is high only when the two inputs are low. So you have to check out in the options now. So these are the signals what he has given to A and B. You have to find the value of output where he has given different graphs. So you have to remember that only when the two inputs are low, only then the output is high. So that is 0 and 0 gives 1. In other cases it is simply 0. So it is 1. So here the value of A is 1. So that is high. When it is high and B is 0, obviously the output has to be 0. The output has to be 0. Then it is 0 and 1, again it has to be 0. 1 0, it has to be 0, and 1 1, it has to be 0. So when there are two lows, only then the output is high. So here you can check from, it is option 3 here. Next, in this problem number 20, it is so simple problem, it is from the motion in a straight line, or else here he says the scooter is uniformly accelerating for time t1. So the uniform acceleration is given as a1, but here, so let us take it as a1. Okay, so let us take it as a1. a1 is equal to the final velocity minus the initial velocity by time t. So whenever if you see this part, in this the maximum velocity or the final velocity is Vmax, let us write it as Vm. So it is starting from rest, he said. So the initial velocity, that is V1, has to be 0. So V2, that is simply Vmax by time, here he has given it as T1. So A1 is equal to Vm by T1. In the second case, let us see where it is has given the acceleration as A2 and the uniformly and decelerated with A2 acceleration for time T2 and finally comes to rest. So in the case 2, the final velocity is 0 but the initial velocity is Vmax. So the final velocity is 0. So 0 minus V max by time t2. Okay. So what he is asking the ratios of times. From this you can actually write the values of times. So where t1 is equal to V max by a1 and t2 is equal to V max by a2. So t1 by t2 is Vm by a1 into a2 by, because it is Vm by a2, so it becomes a2 by Vm. Vm and Vm get cancelled, so it is a2 by a1. So it is option 1. So these are the problems up to problem number 20. So, and this is what we got exactly, where t1 by t2 is equal to a2 by a1, that is option 1 in the solution, in the given solution. So here we have the problems from 1 to 20, where the problems 11 to 20 are being taught by me. So here you have to, so here, and you can actually check out the Skyget app, where you can get all the previous year papers and their solutions, and you can actually check yourself by writing the exams and in that app. So you can be in time with the exam format. So, and all these courses and all these exams and all these previous year papers which are solved are for free, so there is no need to pay for these papers. So from next now on, Mr. and Shivashankar sir will continue the class from problem number 21.
Hello students, welcome back and good morning first of all. As of now, the Ganpati sir as well as the Vijay sir has discussed the problem from question number 1 to question number 20. Now let's see what are the different questions came from 21 to 30, and whether they were easy, they were difficult, we will check it out. But before starting, you can go back, you can check out the Skyget app, where you will find the number of questions, the similar kind of question we have uploaded in that app. We have designed in such a way that if you are attempting those questions, you are definitely going to score very well in that. So I hope you come to us and download and try to see where you're standing right now. And we will solve the question in a very quick way, that how, because this is not a something, this is designed for someone who is going to write the JEE Mains and who has written already. So now how to solve the question, let's try to understand it. So let's see one of the very good question, that is my favorite topic, that is SHM. And if you are just continuing with us, you will definitely find SHM to be the most easiest chapter at all. Now see the question, the time period for simple pendulum is T. Okay, what does it mean? One simple pendulum is basically doing these kind of motions. So one time period is, let's suppose this can be 2 seconds, 10 seconds, any second, right? Now they are saying that in order to cover 5/8 oscillations, okay, in order to cover 5/8 oscillation, it takes this much time. But over here there is some mistake, it should not be T but it should be T over here. The T is multiplied over alpha over beta. Now they are asking find the value of alpha if the motion start from mean position. So now try to understand what is the meaning of mean position. So this is going to be x equal to 1. This is your the maximum position, that can be x equal to a, and this is your minimum position, which is x equal to minus a. If I represent this thing in a waveform, it will look more easier for you. So I can say if the wave is starting from the mean position, I can make a sine wave like this, and they have given that 5/8 oscillation. So tell me guys, 5/8 is more than 1 or less than 1? So if you say 5/8 is less than 1, it means we're talking something about here only. Some oscillation is happening, oscillation has not completed, right? So we are going to understand how much time it will take to complete the 5/8, and that we have to equate with this equation to get your answer. Okay, so now see very carefully. So let's see what does it mean. So if I say that in one oscillation, how much particle has to travel? Okay, I'm just going to find out the easiest way, that how much in one oscillation, how much time has, how much distance will be covered by one object. So you can say one oscillation means that this particle has to go here, this will be A, then this particle has to go back to the mean position, this will be A, then this particle has to travel from mean position toward this direction, that will also be A, even if it is magnitude is minus A, but I'm talking about the distance. The distance is going to be A again, and again while coming back to its mean position, total distance that will be traveled, that is going to be 4A. So can you say that in one oscillation, okay, in one oscillation, total distance which you have traveled, total distance is equal to 4 times of amplitude. This is the total distance you have traveled. So can you tell me that in this much oscillation, how much distance will be traveled by you? So in this case, you can say that total distance traveled will be 5/8 times 4 of A. Are you able to understand this much distance you will travel or not in 5/8 oscillations? So over here you can cancel out these things easily. So I guess 5/2 oscillation, or I can say 2.5 amplitude. This much you have oscillation you are going to do in this case. What does it mean? The 2.5 of A, it means that you have traveled 2A plus 1 by 2A. 2.5 is 2 plus 0.5. So 2 amplitude you have traveled twice of amplitude plus half of amplitude. Now this question can be done orally. So for example, if I ask you how much time you will take to travel, for example, in one oscillation, if you taking total time to be t, then half of the oscillation will be how much? In that case you will travel 2A. It means you will come over here and then you will go over here, right? So in complete oscillation, if you're taking t time, in half of the oscillation you will take how much time, boss? So you will take, I will say that you're going to take 2t by 2 time. This is up to half of the oscillation. Now let me ask you how much distance you will travel to further 1 by 2A. This is what we can get from using SHM equation. And how can we use the SHM equation? So let me tell you guys that x equal to A into sine omega t. Since it is starting from the mean position, so whatever the phase factor has to be, that will be 0. Why? What is the meaning of phase? Phase tells you from where exactly the motion is starting. So in this case, they have told that since this thing is starting from the mean position, so I will assume phase to be 0. So I can equate this thing that x equal to 1 over 2A equal to A into sine omega t. A cancel out. What is the value of 1 over 2 for any value of sine? So you can say that sine 30 is 1 over 2, and if I convert into radians, that is going to be pi over 6. So equal to 2 pi over t into t. This is going to be the equation. You can simplify this equation over here. So the t will be your basically t by 12. So for covering 2A distance, you are going to take t by 2, and for covering this much distance, that is half of the distance further, you are going to take t by 12. So can you tell me how much total time you are going to take? So total time will be t over 2 plus t over 12, and I guess LCM will be 12, 6 plus 1, so 7 by 12 into t. This is what the total time you are going to take. This is what you have to basically you have to equate with this value. Since t is here, so alpha will be 7, beta will be 12, and they have asked the value of alpha, and alpha is going to be 7 in this case. So I hope you understood the problem effectively and easily, right? You have to use the logic, you have to think in your mind. Just close your eyes, think what will happen in one oscillation t time, coming back half of that value. Sometimes in these type of question you may not require to use the pen as well. If you guys continue with us and you watching our sessions. So I will cover a lot of the logics like this. Okay, so this is all you have heard. Now gravitational field intensity. What is gravitational field intensity? I want to tell you one more thing, that gravitational field intensity or electrical field intensity, these two things appear same. Whatever the formula that is valid for electrical field, that will be valid for your gravitational field as well. So if you remember what was the formula for electrical field, that was an electrical field for that case in which sphere was uniformly, right? It was non-uniform kind of thing. right? When the uniform charge was distributed, that case and your gravitational field, that will be same. So in that case, if I ask you what is the formula for electric field, because there is one sphere which is having uniform charge, that has to be your basically K Q R over this is R cube. This was the formula for electrical field. Same way, the gravitational field because of the earth for at any time is going to be this value GM R over R cube. This is the value for electrical field if the earth we are assuming to be uniform, and since the earth is uniform normally, right? Now they are saying that gravitational field intensity at A and C are equal. Okay, they have given that there is A and C which is equal now, but less than a point B. Okay, there is a point B. Now they are saying the B lies on surface of earth, right? So basically they are saying that this is your, let's suppose this is your the center of earth, this is the point B which is lying on the surface of earth. Now they are saying we don't know about any value, right? A and B are equal but less than point B, okay, which is over here. Then what will be the value of x? Okay, now they are asking that value of x. Now the good question is, the very important thing is that we don't know where A and B are lying. We don't have knowledge about where A and B will be lying. But if you remember the formula, if you use this formula for outside, this is the formula, and for this is for inside at any point if you want to find out. This is gravitational field inside of the earth. And if you want to find out the gravitational field outside of the earth, that is also one formula, that is Gm over R square. What is the meaning of R? R is a distance from this point to this point. Okay, what is the value of R in this case? This is the value of R when we are talking about inside the value. So if you see one variation, when it is about inside, then R value is minimum in this case, but again when you're going out, then R value is increasing, again your gravitational field is decreasing. So there is one point, there is one chance that inside the earth and outside the earth there must be one point at which gravitational field can be equal, right? Because when you go down, gravitational field decreases, when you go up, gravitational field decreases. There is only one point where the gravitational field is maximum, that is surface of earth, right? So in that case what we can assume to be this one to be R1, for example. This will be your R1 and this will be your R2. And as per the question they have given that at these 2 points gravitational field is equal. So if the gravitational field is equal, Gm over R into R cube is going to be, okay, is going to be Gm over R square, or basically let's suppose this is the value from here, right? And based on this you will be able to find out one relation that will tell you about that how much is the value of the R. Understand how much will be the value of R, and based on that you can cancel out these things. So R cube is going to be R cube like that. This is one way of doing it. Okay, this is one way of doing it. Other ways are different things. For example, you can assume to be this to be R, and then you can assume to be this R. So the most important logic which you have to remember is basically the value of the gravitational field, which is that if you go down toward the center of earth, it will decrease. If you're going up toward the away from the surface of earth, it is going to decrease. So there may be 2 points where your gravitational field can be equal, and these two formula if you apply, you're going to get your answers. So based on that you have to do that and you will get the result. This is going to be super simple. Okay, now since in this case they have given, I guess, this value as well, they have given the radius as well, but you can solve this question without looking for the diagram as well. This is very also important thing. But if the diagram is given, that will make your problem super easy, right? So they have given, let's suppose this is your A and C. So in this case, well, you use the formula that is Gm small r over capital R cube. And in this case you use Gm over R cube. What should be R? From the center of that value. Equate that relation, find out what is the relation between R and capital R, you will get that value. And then you use the formula, get the x and y ratio, simple thing, simple mathematics. I'm not going to tell you the mathematics. The most important thing which we need to catch is the logic. Okay, a body is performing SHM of amplitude A and time period t. If the position where its speed becomes half of the maximum is this value, then find the value of x. If you remember, what is the equation for SHM? Equation for SHM is x equal to A into sine omega t. If I assume the phase to be 0, then A into sine omega t. That is one equation. Differentiate, you will get the velocity equation, you will get one relation. And then they are saying that velocity is half of that initial. So initial velocity is your A into omega, you use that. Otherwise, we can use the second formula, which is A times that is a velocity equal to that is in displacement. So we will use that second equation to get the result. Simple equation we have to, this is a simple question, put the formula, get the answer, simple. Again, if you remember the last session, the same question has appeared, only the value was changed. That time it was 512, in this case 27. Now what happening, there is one ball, there will have some potential. If you combine so many drops, let's suppose 27 drops, so all these 27 drops are going to combine and they will give you one big potential. That's what you have to do. So first of all, what you do, that you assume there is, let's suppose the big drop is there, and the volume of the big drop will be equal to the 27. If you place 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, 4 drop, so volume will be same. So whatever the volume of these 27 will be, that will be the same for this one. Find out the radius, use the formula potential equal to kq by r and get the answer. This was a super simple question. Understand? What will be the total charge? 1 drop is coming with 1 coulomb, then 27 drop will come with 27 coulomb. And use the answer, place the value in a numerical and get the answer. Simple logic based. Okay, so I hope you understood the logic. So this is the solution which you can refer to get your answers. Zener diode. Last class, if you remember, we have discussed the Zener diode a lot. I have also personally I have taught the modern physics lectures from nuclei, semiconductor, atoms. So in that topic, we have solved at least 5 to 6 questions based on Zener diode and transistor, because in this chapter Zener diode is super important. What is Zener diode? Zener diode is reverse biased diode which we use. And why do we use it? Because we know that, let's suppose I am using the computer. So in computer there is not necessary that all the time current will be coming from, let's suppose there is one button from A to B, B to C, C to D, like that. There is also chances that current may come back in different directions. For example, if it is coming from C to A, then in that case what will happen, your laptop will go away, it will be burst, right? So that is why we use Zener diode to maintain the voltage across something, right? And Zener diode act in a reverse bias, and if you provide a sufficient amount of reverse bias barrier potential, it will break the barrier potential and the current will start going. That is what the logic of logic of Zener diode. So if I see what is the value they are asking, find the current through Zener diode. So current through Zener diode means that they have given the 30 volt. What is the meaning of 30 volt? That you have to supply, there is a 60 volt, out of the 60 volt you have to give at least 30 volt to Zener diode to break the depletion layer and so that current can flow, right? So if the 30 volt is going from here, so that you can see this circuit and this circuit is parallel, across the parallel current voltage remains same, so you can use V equal to I into R, right? And in this circuit you can use the Kirchhoff rule. This is 90, this is 60 or 30. Subtract this 60 divided by that value, you will get one current. You have already found that current. Find out the total current flowing from this. Simple logic based question, right? We are solving JEE Mains, right? So my motive is for you to save your time, clear you the concept. So don't use the pen, get your answers within your mind as well. Simple. Okay, I'm just hoping that you are going to do all these things. And just comment and let us know what is your answer. Okay, ideal gas follows the polytropic process. Polytropic process means, if you remember, V into P into V to power of N formula, if you remember, right? Polytropic and adiabatic. What is adiabatic? Where P into V to power gamma, where volumetric expansion come into picture, that is called adiabatic expansion. What is adiabatic process? Adiabatic process, let's suppose bursting of tires, right? There is a tire, you're going and you are just bicycling, all of a sudden it bursts into air. That is called the adiabatic process. Adiabatic process is that there is very less time to exchange of heat. Heat is, whatever the heat is exchanging, that it has to be very, very quick. Understand? And what is isothermal? Isothermal means, let's suppose you place your tires in your home, it will take 10 years, and after 10 years when you coming away from the picnic, you will see there is no gas in your tires of the vehicle. That is called isothermal. In that case, you will see every time, even if you touch every day your tire, the temperature will remain same. That is called the adiabatic, that is called isothermal, and the second is called adiabatic process. So these difference you have to keep in your mind to understand what is isothermal, what is that value. I hope you understand. Now coming back to the question, the ideal gas, as soon as the question comes, ideal gas, PV equal to nR2. Now coming back, polytropic process is there, V equal to K into T to power 2 by 3. This is the process they have given. Now you can convert this process and get your results so easily. So they have given that V equal to this value. So we know that PV raised to power of n equal to constant, polytropic process. Now how to make the formula into V into T terms? So you know already that PV equal to nRT. So just take the, substitute the value. Why we have to substitute? Because we want to find the relation between V and T. So what I can say, PV equal to nRT divided by V, and I'm just going to place this formula over here. That will be nRT divided by V times V to power of n equal to constant. So T remains same, V to power n minus 1 equal to constant. So here you have this relation. And if I convert this relation into that one, I can easily do that. So I can say, boss, for example, if I say that the V is going to be 3 by 2 equal to K into T, right? This relation you can get from here, right? You just compare this value has to be equal to that value, and just make sure, or you can take this value this side. So K into T into V to power minus 3 by 2 equal to again some constant. So T into V to power 3 by 2 equal to constant, and this is the value of n, and you just you equate this to n minus 1 equal to minus 3 by 2, get the value of n. Use the formula work done equal to P1 V1 minus P2 V2 divided by n minus 1, or you can use nR T2 minus T1 divided by your n minus 1. That you have to use the work done formula. And T2 and minus T1, they have already given that temperature change is 90 degrees Celsius. Don't need to convert into Kelvins, because if you add 1 T1 plus 273, T2 plus 90 plus 273, difference is going to be same. Use your time. Don't waste your time in unnecessary calculation, because your job has to qualify the exam. Okay, so the process is given to you, and then you equate the value. Okay, two beam of different intensity such that proton energy is this. Okay, simple formula again. Let's see how to do that. Just click the keywords. What they're saying, that photon energy means hc by lambda of first is twice the work function. So if you remember the Einstein equation, what was the value? So you need to remember incident energy was equal to the work function plus kinetic energy. Now in this case, they are saying that incident energy is the twice of the work function. Okay, twice of work function, so this will be half of mv1 square, and in the second case they are saying that it is 10 times. So this is going to be 10 times of work function equal to phi plus half of mv2 square. Simple, and you have to subtract this thing. This will be phi, this will be 9 phi, divide that value, and they are asking that ratio of the velocity is x over y. So what will be the value of x? So simple, you can say this will be the first will become phi equal to half of m into v1 square. This will become 9 phi equal to half of mv2 square. Just divide these two value, phi cancel, 1 by 2 mm cancel. So v1 by v1 square divided by v2 square is 1 over 9. So v1 by v2 will be 1 over 3. So v1 they are asking, that is they have saying this is the value of x over y, x has to be equal to 1. So simple calculation, use the logic, get your answer, simple. Okay, this is very chandi chap question. This is very easy question. Try to solve, try to watch my videos on modern physics on YouTube, which we have uploaded on our session, and all the question if you're watching, definitely not these type of questions is not going to, you're not going to leave this question. I'm telling you, modern physics is that important. So watch my sessions on Skyget on YouTube and try to solve the question, try to understand the logic to solve the question very quickly. Simple thing. Okay, a source of light is S placed in midway between the mirror and this. Okay, let's see the question. There is one question, and they're saying that how far you can see in this screen. What does it mean? For example, you must have seen, like, just try to assume like that. For example, this is my mirror. This is my mirror and I am watching on the mirror, right? So can you tell me how much I can see? So you must have seen that, let's suppose there is one picture, okay, there is one beautiful picture over there, I will able to see here in my eyes. If there is any picture in my shirt, I will able to see here, right? Or if I place like that, if any picture is on the wall, I will able to see that. And why I am able to see? Because of this, whatever the light is coming from, let's suppose there is one object, light is coming from that object and is striking to the mirror and then it's coming to my eyes. That is why I'm able to see. So I have to find out how much distance that in back I can get, so that I can see the image distance, or you can say that how much object has which is in behind, I can able to see that. Simple logic question, don't use pen, simple thing. Let's see how to do that. Simple mathematics, this is not physics question, telling you again. Okay, so for example, this is your mirror, simple thing, this is your mirror. So you can see if any object is placed over here, and for example you are watching and you are somewhere here. So what will happen? Can you see this object? So you can say yes, I can see. Why? Because let's suppose if any, like, this is object, light is coming from here, it is reflected in the mirror, coming to my eyes, I can see that. I can see any object over here, yes, I can see, because light is coming from here, then coming to my eyes, I can see it, right? So how much distance up to how much distance I can see that. So let's solve how to do that. So I can say, boss, let's suppose if I draw one triangle, so the maximum distance which I can say, the maximum distance up to which I can say is that the light which is striking over here and then coming to my eyes, right? If any light is there which is making the same angle of incidence and coming from somewhere here, right, whatever the angle of incidence is there, the same angle of reflection it is making, whatever, come on, this is your I, this is your R, right? So I will able to see the object which is somewhere here, and the same way I can see in the down part as well. Let's suppose this is this one, so whatever this is the up part, same rule follows for the down part as well. So for example, this is your 60, this is, they have already given, that is 120 centimeter. So the total base for this is 120 centimeter. You can use the triangle, similarity of the triangle ABC, and this is, let's suppose, D and E. So both of the triangle has to be similar. So you can use your logic, right, to get your answer. So I can say the base similarity between this triangle and this triangle, I can easily use that. So I will say the base of this triangle divided by base of this triangle over height of this triangle will be 25 divided by height of this triangle. So this triangle is going to be, I don't know how much is that, right? So this will be 2. So height is going to be 50 centimeter from this part. So this part is your 50 centimeter, and we already know this is 25. So this will be your 25. So from here, from the mid position, I can say upward, I can go 75 centimeter. Same way toward bottom as well, I can go 75 meter. So total I can see, that is 75 plus 75, that is 150 centimeter. So if object is between basically 150 centimeter, then up to there I can see that. Simple logic based question, similarity triangle, mathematics. Okay. Okay, aeroplane is flying horizontally. Okay, aeroplane, this is your aeroplane is flying, right? Now with velocity, this much velocity, magnetic field of earth is this much. Dip angle is 60 degree. What is the dip angle? Dip angle is, for example, let's suppose, what is the meaning of dip angle at any point? Now dip angle means, for example, let's suppose this is my magnetic field. Okay, this is how my magnetic field is flowing. If this is my north pole, this is my south pole, if I place in the magnetic field like this, then all the time this magnet will try to align toward the direction of magnetic field, right? That is called. Now what does it mean? Try to understand what is the meaning. I'm telling you again and again, if the magnetic field is like this, all the time this magnet will try to align in the direction of magnetic field. Now at any point, if the question comes, okay, if the magnetic field is like this, so what will happen to the magnet? So magnet will try to align in that direction. Sorry. Okay, so if the magnetic field is like this, at any point it is making like this, so always magnet will try to align in that direction. So what is a dip angle? Dip angle is basically the angle between, this is your real magnetic field and this is called the horizontal at that place. This is the horizontal at that place. This will be the vertical at that place. So basically whatever the angle that is formed between your real magnetic field and the horizontal line, that is called the dip angle. So when your plane is moving like this, when a plane, for example, at any point, let's suppose, okay, this is your earth and let's suppose your plane is moving like this. For example, at this point your plane is going like this, okay, but your magnetic field is something in this direction. This is your real magnetic field, for example, and it is making the angle of 60 degree. Okay, so if you remember, when a conducting rod, especially when a conducting rod is moved perpendicular to the magnetic field, it generates the electric potential between two ends, right? That is called also the motional EMF, understand? And that value has to be, in that case, the velocity and magnetic field has to be the perpendicular. So in that case, what I will do, this is 60 degree, so I will take the perpendicular of component of magnetic field, that is going to be B into sine of 60 degree. And what is formula for motional EMF? Motional EMF, or basically motional EMF, is given by VBL. Remember that that's velocity and this has to be the perpendicular to each other. And L is what? The length of the conductor. Understand? So over here they have, we can find the magnetic field is they have already given. You use the component that is sine 60. Velocity they have given. Velocity, you have to remember what is the SI unit of velocity, that is meter per second, and they have given in kilometer per hours. Make sure you multiply 5/18 to convert into meter per second, and then you multiply the value and get your EMF. This is simple step. If you understand the logic of dip angle, you understand the motional concept. Okay, simple thing I told you already. Okay, so this is basically the basic discussion about the Shift-2 which held on 26th February. So I hope if you are continuously followers of our channel, you must able to solve the question very easy way, and we are going to bring much more very delicious videos for you so that you can understand each of the concept in physics in very lucrative ways. Okay, still you wanted to practice the things, you can come back to us in our app, you can download the things, you can attempt as many as questions you want, and make sure you increase your rank so that you can land up in somewhere in good university and make us proud. Okay, so just come back and just solve the question which we have uploaded, and continuously we are in follow up with the JEE Mains. We are launching we are already doing the crash course on it. You can watch, you can log into our YouTube channel, you can see the topic wise videos. Just type Skyget and topic name, you will get the videos related to that content, whether it is physics, chemistry, mathematics. So make sure you check it out and see what we're doing. Okay, and help us and download the app and get more response. Check out the questions, try to do as much as mock tests so that you can make sure that you are doing very well before going for JEE Main's actual exam. Thank you very much for for being us and watching us. Make sure, don't forget to share this video so that you or your friend can get maximum benefit of it. Thank you very much.